Hey everyone, before we get started today, we just had a quick message. We are going to be going from a bi-weekly schedule to a monthly schedule.
So is bi-weekly is every 2 weeks or is it twice a week? I've never been able to clear that up.
I don't actually know. We should just say twice a month.
Twice
a month. Twice a month.
There you go. There you go, listeners. There's some information for your ears.
Once a month.
Try to figure that one out.
Yeah. When we started this thing, we were all in the same room around the same crappy microphone, as you might notice from the audio quality from the early episodes. And now we're split in 3 separate cities across an 8-hour time difference in 2 different countries. So it's a little bit harder to schedule. But we're still gonna be doing the show. Everything's gonna remain the same dumb goofs that you come to love, probably, hopefully, but just half as frequently.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like anybody, did anything crazy, nobody's in trouble with the law or anything. I mean, everything's fine.
Look, there's a reason that you left the country.
No, there isn't. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, sorry.
All right. So anyway, love you.
Enjoy this episode we made for you. It's really good.
It's not.
And music. Hey, welcome to Storied, the podcast where we take one piece of media and transform it into another.
Today we're going to be taking classic kids' board games and turning them into other things, like movies or TV shows. It's going to be great.
Or something else.
Or something else.
Yeah, or other board games for adults. Adult board games.
Or video games.
Anything. Books.
Some other kind of game is what we're saying. We're going to turn it into another kind of game.
We should probably not do that, actually.
So if anybody has not turned this off so far...
Yeah, if we haven't isolated or alienated half of our audience, which is 30 people.
The 33 of the 60 people who regularly listen to the show just went, what the fuck, and turned it off.
To be fair, though, they probably made it through the Kellogg Cinematic Universe episode, so
I don't know if
this
anybody
is probably
made it
going to be fine for them.
I didn't make it through that.
Yeah.
What?
That's kind of true. You actually did have some sort of technical issue and you were out of the episode for a while. So, But anyway, board games. Operation. We're going to turn Operation into something. Probably a horror film.
Now, that would make sense. So there's a couple of options, right? We can turn it into a horror film. We can turn it into some sort of Grey's Anatomy style serialized medical drama. But I guess we need to figure out what perspective are we coming at this. Are we coming at this from the guy on the operating table with the buzzing red nose, or is
There's also the option of turning it into a comedy starring Steve Carell.
So Steve Carell would definitely play the guy on the operating table.
He looks exactly like him.
That's true. Yeah, he has the exact same haircut.
I want to Photoshop a red nose onto Steve Carell now and see if I'm right.
I bet you could just print out Steve Carell's face and just sort of punch a hole on his nose so that the red buzzer can stick through, and then you'll have a whole new game.
That seems like a lot more trouble than just Photoshopping it.
I guess. I guess you'd have to first own a copy of this game.
Yeah. Which who knows if it's even. Can you even buy Operation anymore?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
So we should probably explain the game for millennials who haven't heard of it.
No, they play these things at coffee shops that have them because they're ironic.
Yeah, last time I went into a coffee shop, I used to keep that bzzz noise in the background. But we should definitely explain it anyway.
Then they use the tweezers to smoke a doobie. A legal doobie.
Like a fucking roach clip.
Like a roach, yeah. They just have a roach clip. They use it,
Oh, man. That would be the most fucking amazing thing ever if they're playing Operation and then they go reach down and pick up a fucking doobie.
Well, that's what they're trying to get out. One of the things is a smoldering roach.
They're just using it as a holder. God.
Yeah.
See, now this game's interesting. Now we've captured the hearts and minds of the millennial.
Of course. What else?
Anyway,
what else?
How does Operation work?
The show where we cynically make fun of everything millennials love.
Well, a lot of this stuff is stuff from the '80s that we love too. So.
Well, we talk about it affectionately, and then make fun of all the shit that's happening these days. Which is mostly garbage.
Yeah, it's all garbage. When I was a kid, we had quality board games like Operation.
Yeah, Operation was quality.
So Operation is a game where you have this like, plastic tray with a printout, like a cardboard printout laying in it of a man sitting on an operating table wearing pink boxers with hearts on them. It's very important. And he's got a red nose, which is like a buzzer light. And there are holes in his body. And inside the holes are these little plastic pieces like a broken heart or a butterfly or a rib or a Charlie horse. And the edges of the little holes have metal around them, right? And you have these tweezers that are attached by a wire, and if you touch the edges, if you touch the sides, the whole thing is like, don't touch the sides. It buzzes, it connects a circuit, and his nose buzzes, and you lose. And this is the thing I didn't know because I never remember actually playing the real rules of the game, because when you're a kid, you just fuck around with it. But there is like, you pull cards, and they have a dollar amount and a thing that tells you which piece to pull out. And the idea is to make a lot of money, which is like a scathing critique of the American healthcare system. The bread basket is worth $1,000, etc. That's how you play the game.
So it's also worth noting that the Charlie horse, is shaped like a horse.
Yeah.
Right.
There are all sorts of whimsical shapes.
Yeah, and that the guy's name, I just Googled this on the internet because I was sure he had a name. His name is Cavity Sam.
Fuck.
Yeah.
What a bummer.
Yeah.
Can you imagine trying to go out and like go on a date and people ask you what your name is and you tell them Cavity Sam?
Yeah.
My friends call me Cavity Sam. Like, fuck.
He's got holes all in him.
That is literally the best case scenario for a man named Cavity Sam.
Well, I don't think he was called Cavity Sam at birth, Harrison. I'm pretty sure that a lot of cavities appeared because of his illnesses. And
agree to disagree.
You insensitive fuck.
I would have thought that his nickname revolved around his giant electronic nose that lit up.
Yeah,
it's
right.
amazing that they just see right past that and go right for the cavity.
Well, presumably as well, like the cavities are all covered up by his clothes normally. So.
Oh, that's true. Do you feel like if he like rolls around in bed too much, do you feel like like all the pieces would just kind of fall out of him? Like he'd wake up the next morning and be like, "Oh fuck, where did I put my my Adam's apple? Shit, it's in my sheets somewhere." Do you think those holes are just open constantly?
Oh man, well he's trying to get all that stuff removed. So if it was that easy.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got extras or something. Like Cavity Sam has extra Adam's apple, and he has to get it taken out along with his extra Charlie horse, which is not really a removable thing.
Yeah, some of the shapes are like really complicated too. Like the Charlie horse, I guess they put little edges on them, so there's little places for the tweezers to actually grab onto. But yeah, they make some fucking choices. Like the ribs are actually, they look like ribs you could buy at like a barbecue joint. You could pick out one of his ribs that has like meat on it, which is fucked up.
That is so weird.
So this is obviously going to be a romantic comedy about a man who falls in love with his doctor, right?
Yeah, clearly. You know, he's got either that or it's a romantic comedy about some sort of auto cannibal.
Wait, is he getting the pieces removed so that he can consume them himself?
Yeah. You could do a black comedy about a guy who falls in love with a girl who is willing to slowly take parts of him out so he can eat them.
Oh my god!
It's just totally fucked up.
This is some Sundance shit. This is some Bravo
no, this is
channel.
Totally, well, you know, I mean, it's not maybe funny, but
so the dark comedy part is just a horror movie. It's a Cronenberg-esque body horror movie.
Well, the thing that you do is you say that it's a black comedy, so that you can get away with more.
That's a really good strategy. I'm sure that's been employed in real life.
The critical scene at the end of the movie where she severs his Johnson, and he eats it.
I don't remember that game piece.
There is a hole over his junk. There is a hole over his junk for sure. I don't know what goes in there, but
it's the bread basket.
Boy, oh boy. Oh no!
I'm looking at the diagram right now. It's the bread basket. The bread basket is it's not over his junk. Okay, his belly is hanging over his junk.
Okay, fair.
Because he's got a little bit of an obesity issue there.
There's a weird horror element. Yeah, we were talking about horror earlier, or like before we started recording, we were talking about how every kids game could be turned into a Saw movie, but this one especially feels like something from like Seven, where a man has to like remove a lump of his like a pound of his flesh because someone is like pointing a gun at his head, or like he has to just like have pieces of himself removed.
Yeah, but the guy is pointing a gun at his head, going like, "All right, now take out your funny bone." You know, and saying like,
So is he operating on himself now? Because that could be interesting.
I don't know. I mean,
It's a pretty liberal use of that word.
Yeah, good point.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. You know,
I think your original pitch was a better one, to be honest.
well, he could also like it could be funny where you do it as like a magical realism kind of thing where, you know, he's got like I'm looking at this diagram. He has an ice cream cone in his head, which is representing brain freeze. So you could just have like Steve Carell eat an ice cream cone for a long too fast, and then he gets brain freeze, and in order to stop himself from having brain freeze, literally cuts his head open and removes the ice cream cone from his head. But
okay.
But it's funny though.
But yeah, obviously we would make it funny. Come on.
It's interesting because I want to pull back the curtain here for a second and just let the audience in on the fact that we did this episode before. We've recorded it in the past, and Harrison's audio got messed up, so we had to abandon it. And then that's actually, long story short, we got the amazing ET2 episode. But when we were doing this, it's all coming back to me now. We did Operation, and I remember now what we did. And I remember how amazing it was.
Please enlighten me.
What it was a movie about a doctor who was like a quack. And I think it was Steve Carell, actually. And it was
Steve Carell, because that's the only thing I could remember about the previous episode.
But what the story that we had come up with was that he was like doing, like, he was like a con artist, basically. Like, he would have somebody come in and he'd be like, "I'm afraid we need to operate on you." And he'd be like,
"That sounds
"You have
really familiar.
Butterflies in your stomach." And then like he would have like all these like hack operations.
And it's going to cost you $100.
Yeah. So he was like just basically like taking their money from them and conning people out of money. And then finally over the course of the movie or something, he had this nurse who really believed in what he was doing, and then found out it was a fake. And then like he then had to turn into like a real doctor and like save somebody's actual life. and
that's right.
And that's why.
Oh my god, that's
there
amazing.
There was such stakes to like the actual operation that he was doing finally, but.
Well, that's how you get in the actual gameplay, right? Because all of these like movie translations or television translations of games and stuff, you have to have that moment when, like it simulates the actual game in some minor way. So you definitely have to have him with tweezers removing something.
Oh yeah, because like
you
basically have it. The whole movie is where he's a con artist, but he's got a heart of gold. And
of course,
and there's like a nurse or a doctor in the hospital who's ahead
of
his
ex-wife.
Him.
It's got to be his ex-wife.
No, it wouldn't be his ex. Well, that's possible. That's possible. That's one way you could take it. But you could also take it where there's like she thinks he's on the same level with her, and then he starts succeeding where she couldn't succeed because of his con artistry, and then she finds out that he was a phony the whole time. But then the stakes are raised when later in the movie, like she gets knocked out, and in true '80s fashion, he has to jump in and do the surgery she needed to do.
That's right. Yeah, there's definitely a scene when he gets kicked out of the hospital for being a fraud, and then sneaks back in to see her, and it just happens to be in the room when this happens.
Either that, or she's ready to expose him, and then while they're talking about it, a bedpan falls on her head and knocks her out.
A bedpan?
Yeah. Well, they're just in the.
Where was a bedpan in that room that it fell onto her head?
They're in the bedpan storage. Okay.
Of course. Yeah, they're arguing in the closet.
Yeah. They're arguing in the closet. They're very close together. It's very, very intimate and sexual. And then the bedpan falls on her head, knocks her out. It's not full.
I love that you picked the bedpan. I'm so happy that you picked the bedpan because it just completely blows all the tension of that scene when she gets brained by a fucking piss pot.
Well, there's no tension though. I mean, that's the thing. Like it comically knocks her out, and then he goes, "Oh shit!" and he tries to wake her up for a little while, and he takes he doesn't know what he's doing, so he's taking like smelling salts and all kinds of shit off the things, but they're not actually smelling salts. They smell terrible, or they're like hydrofluoric acid or something. Yeah. It's just a rough scene.
So That sounds great. Is this guy's name Cavity Sam? Does Steve Carell
That's his
play a guy
nickname.
named Sam?
Yes.
Because that's the name of the guy on the board, but you know, if we were in a like a writer's like a story breaking meeting, someone would be like, "Got to get that name in there. Got to get that Sam name. Like that's the brand. That's what kids identify with is that name."
Well, yeah, I mean,
so we would have to name the character that.
You come up with some excuse for him to be nicknamed that, and then he tries to make it sound
God,
cool.
no, it's like, oh fuck yeah. Well, this goes kind of different to what you were saying because he'd have to be exposed. He would have had to have been disgraced earlier. And that becomes his nickname, like the fucking like when Harvey Dent is Two-Face, and that was his like disparaging nickname from off screen like earlier. Like remember what they used to call me? They used to call me Cavity Sam because I was such a bad doctor.
Jesus.
And then he just owns it.
This is making me think that Cavity Sam or Steve Carell was the quack doctor, and then he comes up with all of these ailments that aren't real, but in the end, he gets all of them.
That's the lead into the second
first time, and then that's where the game of operation comes in. He's like, "You'll never."
Oh man, so he is stricken by like the dozen fake diseases that he
Yeah,
invented?
and then she has to operate on him.
Got to remove my breadbasket.
And then it's just too much, and he just bleeds out and dies because there's just too many incisions to make.
Well, no. What happens is yeah, she does them all at once, and then his nose goes. Bzzz,
But he has
and
to be
then
awake for some reason, right? So he can talk to her while it's happening. So
He's walking her through the surgery.
Yeah, well, okay, so how do we get the nose in? Because he can't have the nose the whole movie. What happens, though, I think, is somehow we incorporate a clown into the actual into the story somewhere, where he has a light up nose, and like it's the only thing available.
He was doing like a kids show, right, to make some money on the
exactly.
side. He happened to be dressed like a clown.
No, there's a clown in the hospital there for like the kids with cancer or something. You know, like he's down in the ward. And he's a miserable fuck. Like he like the second he comes out of the ward, he just starts smoking a cigarette and
he's every clown ever
doing some meth.
Okay, maybe not every clown. Jesus,
that is every clown I've ever met.
Yeah, they're all on meth.
I haven't met that many clowns. That. How many clowns have you met?
Okay,
have you met a lot of clowns?
Dozens, and only 60% of them were doing meth at the time.
You just need to stop buying your meth from clowns and other.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You've led a really weird life.
Yeah, it's weird. Bermuda's a weird place.
I can't believe I've known you for like 7 years, and I still
didn't know that.
I had no idea you've even met one clown.
Yeah, come to Bermuda. We have 12 plus clowns.
I do not want to come to Bermuda.
And 8 of them do meth.
I want nothing to do with Bermuda now.
Fuck, the tourism board is not pleased. So is this clown like the first? Because this is just a throwaway gag, right? Like, is this one of the first operations that Steve Carell's character like performs?
No, the clown.
Or is he not even in the scene?
No, the clown just has the nose. Like he's just like they have to go borrow it. You know, like they befriend the clown because he's there in the hospital all the time.
That's so funny because I was thinking of doing it in a way that where the writer is trying to make it like actually seriously incorporate it for real into the scene. Like he's got some sort of mask over his face, and when he flatlines, it goes red and makes a buzzing noise.
Oh.
You know what I mean? He's got some sort of like breathing apparatus over his face that lights up.
I'm thinking of the dumb Hollywood version where
obviously
they literally translate it into.
They fully and she nicks like an artery, and he starts to bleed out, and then it goes from green to red, and it goes. Bah! That's what Hollywood would for sure do. It's the grown-up serious version. It's very important. You know, it's a serious moment.
We need it's the gritty reboot of Operation.
Operation. I think that we've already done one gritty reboot. I certainly wasn't trying to.
No.
Wasn't trying to push it in that direction.
There was the Jerry Lewis version, and then there's this version, which is the gritty version with Steve Carell.
Either way, no matter what, we got to cast Steve Carell.
Steve Carell, if you're listening, can we get an operation going?
Yeah, we want to option you.
Little in fact, Steve Carell is one of our 60 listeners.
I actually did know that he's very polite on social media.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a pretty sweet Operation movie with Steve Carell. I'm so glad that in both iterations, the guy's face reminded you so much of Steve Carell that you invented the same fucking character.
No, I just remembered that Steve Carell is the one we talked about last time. So I was hoping to recapture the magic.
Well, fuck.
I don't think we did it, though.
I think we did. What do we got next? What's the next game?
We're gonna jump it.
Boggle.
Boggle. Wow,
No.
that's gonna be.
No, it's not Boggle.
No, that's terrible.
That's
That's
just
not
fun.
even a fun game.
Okay, well, let's just do it real quick then. There's a guy whose name is Franklin Jezelwiz. Jezelwiz?
Okay, Franklin Jezelwoods.
Jezelwiz. And he wakes up one morning to discover he's... Yeah, fuck this. So we're going to do Twister.
Yeah, Twister, I think, is a better choice.
I love how you couldn't even get through the name. And you gave up.
You bailed out halfway
naming
through
the
the name.
character. You didn't even get into the story.
Hero protagonist.
I couldn't really see a name for
I think
for the
what
guy
could have
in
been funny is
Boggle.
that like he's really really good at spelling his own name, and that's how somehow he becomes a Boggle fucking lord.
Oh, man.
But,
you know what it should be, really? is-
Everybody's really good at spelling their own name.
Listen, mine's really difficult. It's got 4 letters.
Okay.
What should it be? What should it be, Sean?
It should really be about Wesley Snipes' character in Demolition Man, Simon Phoenix.
Oh man,
Because he says, "What's your
my boggle?"
Yeah, I wanna cut the movie right there and have him go into his like memories from being inside the cryo chamber for 75 years or 800 years or however long it was.
Well, they give you fake. They implant skills in you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like they taught Stallone how to knit.
Right.
So maybe instead of all the like hyper fighting skills that they gave Wesley Snipes, he just looks really fucking good at Boggle.
Yeah, or in addition to the hyper fighting
Yeah.
skills.
But like it's all latent. It's all he's like a sleeper agent until somebody asks him what his Boggle is, and then he goes, "What's my Boggle?" And then it goes woof into his head, and all of that, all his latent Boggle abilities fucking come online.
He remembers all the simulated games of Boggle he played
Yeah.
inside.
Well, his dream state for the last 800 years has just been him at like a dining room table playing Boggle over and over again.
Well, there's the movie. We're done.
So our Boggle movie is also a sequel to Demolition Man.
Yes!
No, it's like
oh my
happens.
God, let's do this.
Okay. Well, shit. Now I want to watch that. Fuck.
I would love to make a sequel to Demolition Man. We should put that on the list.
I agree. I think that'd be fucking great.
All right.
I'm
All
gonna
right,
put it on the
everybody
list
go
right now.
watch Demolition
you guys-
Man, listeners. And then so you can know what the fuck we're talking about.
How dare you? Are you trying to imply that nobody watched Demolition Man in the
No,
90s?
I'm just saying, make sure that you've seen it.
I mean, you're right, but don't say that.
Here, the more politically correct way to say it would be watch it if you haven't seen it already. Which
It is an underappreciated underappreciated.
You're right. I did
classic,
get
is what we'll
particularly
say.
politically incorrect. Not PC
Yeah, you
with
did.
that request. I apologize.
You're
by,
out of
by
fucking
saying that
control.
no one would watch the movie. Yeah, just fucking chill out, would you please? Well, great. So that's a great Well, the Boggle movie would take place sort of in that span of time in Wesley Snipes' head, or is it that's like the opening of him relearning all his Boggle knowledge, and then it's a weird like side story of him being a Boggle lord during Demolition Man?
Well, the whole movie could be about him Boggle. Like he's so good at Boggle that inside of his brain, like inside the tank for all that time, he won fame and fortune as a Boggle champion, and it's his rise and fall, basically the movie.
That's what put him in prison in the first place. It wasn't
that's the
blowing up like
subtitle of
a
the
bus
film.
full of children or whatever.
Yeah, the subtitle of the film is Simon Phoenix, a Boggle. The
Rise and Fall.
Boggle, the Simon Phoenix story. That's what it's called.
I forgot that his name was Phoenix. That's so stupid.
What's my Boggle? The Simon Phoenix story.
Oh my god, what's my Boggle the Simon Phoenix story?
Yes, we got it.
I'm into this. This is fucking great. Cancel the rest of the episode. This is what we're talking about for the next hour.
Oh, well, let's save it. We're gonna save it for the Demolition Man 2 episode.
Sounds great. This will be a secret 2-parter episode, and the second part will just be us talking about Demolition Man for an hour.
Yeah, the Demolition Man 2, starring current versions of Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes and Sandra Bullock.
I'd still see that. I would legit still see that movie.
Oh,
if
so
they
would
made a
I.
sequel
Oh,
today.
yeah. I would too.
In a heartbeat.
They would all have to
Yeah.
go into cryogenic sleep, and we have to go another 200. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah. A good call. Twister. Twister was the next thing on the list, which is this is gonna be wild. This is just a sex game. This is just a game for sex.
Wait, are you talking about the game itself as it currently exists?
I remember that one from my childhood. Twister, the game of sex.
Well, that was the outrage, right? I'm joking, but like that was when that game came out in the 50s, question mark, 60s. I don't know when that game was made. The outcry from parents was like, it's just a game for it's just a lewd game where people twist their bodies. Like all of the like Elvis outrage of like all these hormones flying everywhere and people contorting their bodies into lewd shapes. Ugh. That was definitely an outrage.
So this is like Twister movie. We can make it. It's like Footloose.
Yeah.
Like nobody's,
man!
So nobody's allowed to have fun or
oh shit!
kiss each other or touch.
That's amazing. So the game gets invented in a small like town in like Wichita, right?
A small town in Wichita,
and everyone's like, "Yeah, is Wichita a town? I don't know. I'm not from this country." The small town of Wichita? I don't know.
There's a weirdly incorporated district inside of Wichita that is still
unincorporated.
Yeah.
What state is Wichita
Kansas,
in?
I think.
Okay, let's hope you're right. So it's an unincorporated part of Kansas, and it's a hit with all the teens.
No,
I guess Kevin Bacon would have to bring it in from out of town if we're just stealing the Footloose mechanic, right? Stealing the Footloose story.
Well, Kevin Bacon is now the John Lithgow character.
Oh shit! Okay, so
movie.
So it's actually a sequel to Footloose where he's cool and like rebellious as a teen who wanted to dance, and then he grows up and gets like stodgy and old, and then Twister becomes a game the kids are playing, and he fucking hates it.
Nah, it's not in canon with Footloose. He's just it's just very self-referential. Like it's
got it.
Yeah, we know what we're doing here, guys.
Yeah, we're winking at the camera for you.
Yeah.
So my question is if are we just going to take that template whole hog? Like in Footloose, if I remember correctly, he's an out-of-towner, right? Like he drives in and his car breaks down or something, and he starts dancing and getting all the youths up to trouble, and the parents outlaw it, right? It's because he comes into town. Am I right?
I've never seen it.
Don't remember.
Wow. Okay. Then that's what it is.
I think he's like the new kid in town. I think that's what it is. I don't think it's like. But maybe you're right. I haven't seen it in a very long time.
I've never seen it, but I want that to be it now. Like he just shows up and just like his car breaks down, and then he doesn't even like ask for help. He just starts dancing.
No, okay, I was wrong. He is the like city kid who moves to small town, and the local minister, who's John Lithgow, has already banned dancing. It's in like Oklahoma somewhere. So he is like the new kid in town, and so in Twister he brings his twist. Are we referring to Twister as the game as it exists in real life, but it's a movie about that, or is it like something weird and way more simple, like metaphorical?
No, there's definitely a scene in this movie where there's like a sensual scene between like the lead girl and guy, where like they're spinning the dial and like putting their feet.
So it's just like 16 candles,
7 red or whatever.
Oh man,
yeah, it's a long.
This is definitely an 80s movie,
like,
then.
And like they're like looking at the stairs to see if their parents are going to come down. You know, but they're just playing Twister. There's nothing more to it than that.
Okay, perfect. This feels very much like an 80s like Footloose or 16 Candles or whatever type of movie.
Then they get caught, and the mom comes and like rips the Twister pad out from under them, and she takes it on the lawn, and in a dramatic display sets it on fire.
It's like plastic.
Yeah,
it's like a big sheet of plastic, so it just like melts into their lawn.
But it just doesn't work. It's just she's just trying to light it for 2 or 3 minutes, and then just cut away.
This sounds so good. I like the idea that it's totally just a game, and then everyone, all the parents are up in arms about a dumb thing, and they have to like go to a warehouse. So, like they have like illicit Twister parties in like a warehouse somewhere, and then they get caught. But how do they teach the parents that it's okay to dance or to play Twister? Because that's the resolution of the movie.
Oh, well,
right?
here's what happens: the mom doesn't burn the pad because it doesn't work. And then later on, like after she tucks it under the bed, you know, she pulls.
They catch the parents playing it.
She pulls it out and she starts like spinning the dial. And the dad is like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Shh, just come here." You know.
Wait. So they do turn it into a sex thing?
Well, no, that's the thing. It's just an allegory for sex, just like Footloose. Really, like
that's true. I like the idea that the kids, and one of them's definitely played by Molly Ringwald.
Now?
Here, like
she plays a kid now.
Yeah, now, yeah.
At age
Yeah,
53 or whatever.
No, this is an '80s movie. This is an '80s movie, or like she can play the mom. I don't know. One of the kids, they hear like thumping and all the noise from upstairs, and like, oh no, what's going on? And they go up there, and the parents are just playing fucking Twister and like falling over each other and laughing, and they all share a good laugh.
Yeah, it's good. Then the movie ends.
That's it. That's the whole movie.
No, then the parents have to like get involved, right, and like overthrow the minister. So they have a Twister party at their house, and they invite everybody. And then the Reverend.
I love the like weird allegory that like having a weird swinger party, but it's just like Twister. So they invite all the other like stodgy parents over, and they pull out the Twister mat, and everyone's like, "Oh my god!"
Well, they
what are
do
you
it.
doing?
It's
You
like
can't have that
drinking. It's
here."
like underage drinking, where they invite all the kids over because they don't want it to be dangerous. And then
At least do it in my house.
yeah, exactly, yeah. And then and then like the Reverend or whoever like breaks the door down. It'll be Kevin Spacey because that'll be the only job he can get.
Kevin Spacey?
Yeah, Kevin Spacey.
Okay.
Yeah, after all the sexual assault allegations, they'll still cast him in
That's the bummer.
this sexual assault movie. And
Yeah, okay. That might be a bomb idea. That might ruin this great idea of a movie if you cast
well,
the fucking.
whatever. It's not Kevin Spacey, but he shows the Reverend shows up at the house, and then they all stand up to him, and then he.
Do they run him out of town?
No. He just pulls his pants down and starts playing Twister with everybody else.
Why does he pull his pants down?
Well, that's what everybody else is wondering. They're very confused.
I like the idea that he continues to think it's a sex thing, but just is okay with it.
Yeah. No, yeah. He realizes that it's actually innocent. And
I like he pulls his pants down and starts playing Twister, and everyone's like, "No, Reverend, no, please put your pants back on, please." He's like, "No, let's do it. Let's play some. Let's get out. Let's do this thing."
They're like, well, we're happy to play
"No, please."
Twister if you put your pants back on.
That's not how you play Twister. Please put your
he
pants
just
back
doesn't
on.
understand. They're like, no. Look, it's a wholesome game.
I'm cool now. I get it now.
No, let's do it. Let's have weird sex. No, seriously, that's not.
Yeah. And they're like, are you sure you're a Reverend? And he's like,
He's the new kid in town.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is a good movie. It's got conflict. It's got resolution. It's got everything.
It's topical.
True. Yeah.
Especially with that.
Casting some awful people.
All right, that's 3 down. Let's keep going. Let's keep rolling with these.
Yeah, I don't know if
games.
Boggle counts as a full.
I don't know.
One,
I want to see it.
I think we talked about Boggle longer than we talked about Twister.
That's. I don't know about that. We talked about Demolition Man longer, definitely.
Yeah, but that's what's my Boggle. That's still part of Boggle.
Oh yes, the Phoenix story.
Yeah.
Is there a way that we
His
can?
name's Phoenix.
Is there a way that we can take this Twister, and also at the same time use it to reboot the 1993 or whatever film Twister with Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton?
Oh man, Twister about
Yeah,
a fucking
it's both of 'em.
like tornado.
Well, both at the same time. It's the game and the tornado.
So there's a tornado coming to town, and there's a time pressure on getting everyone to leave the town, but they won't.
Well,
until
what happens
I don't
is
know
they
where-
keep
I don't
having to
know where
like
this-
dodge the tornado, and then they, like the army keeps calling out like, "All right," and like right, right foot
Oh
red,
fuck!
and they just every time they just narrowly miss this like this unruly cyclone that's just tearing through.
Do you mean
Hang on,
at
is
the
the
last
board?
second-
The board is just like the 1,700-acre square of this town.
Yeah, it's like that
and
episode
it's
of
just like
Battlestar
regions, like a
Galactica
grid.
where they kept.
Oh
where
my
the,
god!
Where I can't remember what the fucking aliens are called or the robots, but they keep like warping and then like 3 seconds behind them. It's like in Last Jedi, like they can't outrun them. Like every time they warp, they're right
fuck.
there, so they keep having to like call out these different places.
So it's like some military guy in a bunker somewhere with like a grid, and please tell me he's got a spinner, which somehow is like a weather gauge, and it's color coded.
Yeah, there's a lot of magnets
the
involved.
wind is going. And so, hang on. So no, I love this. I want to tease this out. So, is the whole town like running to a different like square on the
Yep.
grid? Okay. Tell me what the difference between a town going
there's
to
one
right foot red
dissenter,
and a
right?
town
There's
going.
like one family that's like the whole movie they just keep getting lucky because they're staying at their house, you know. And then at the very end, like the family has to convince them, like, we have to go to R7.
No, you've got to.
You know?
Yeah, you got to go to Right Foot Red.
Yeah.
You got to go. That's the name of the quadrants. Like
that's the name of the movie, Right Foot Red.
Oh my god!
A Twister story. Yeah. No. It's Right Foot Red, a Twister story, because then they're going to do Left Foot Green, a Twister story.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
It's a really good. We got a universe to make. We got a franchise to make.
Every time we do that, we get it's too
universe.
good, and nobody wants to listen to it.
That's true. Fuck, that's true. Yeah, let's stay away from that. I love the idea that there isn't like you have to place your hand on this quadrant. That's just what they've named the fucking chunks of the map that they have to run to. So like Left Foot Green is next to Right Foot Red.
It's like four groups.
They just yell it out.
Four groups that they keep moving around as different parties. Like
so like different groups are like red group.
No. One's right
group,
foot,
so like...
one's left foot. The other one's. So it's just army code.
The guy that's running it is called Head.
Oh, he's the head of it.
Yeah.
Oh man, this fucking movie. So like, what happens? While is it like a travel movie? Like
no, it's like a natural disaster. Go? It's just like it's a tour de force.
It's like a.
Now that you've said that,
it's Twister. It's basically Twister, but if they wait, I am a little confused about the tornadoes.
Wow, how could this be confusing?
The tornadoes.
It's really simple.
How are they? Are they literally just trying to keep some people alive?
Well, they keep having to move these people around, like the Twisters. The tornado is so unpredictable in its movement patterns.
We could do a survival movie, because obviously smashing two things together simply because they share a name is the way we should make movies. We could do the thing where they have to survive, but the other alternative is that we do the storm chaser angle, and it's like plotting out where the hurricane is going to be on a grid or a map or something. And so they're competing teams, right? There's like Left Foot and Right Foot, and these are teams like in the movie Twister. There's like two different storm hunters, and they're trying to release their weird little like spheres into the tornado to get like data, which is the weirdest stakes I've ever seen in a movie. So like they're competing groups, and they are each tracking storms and tracking tornadoes across a space, and they know where they're going to show up, so they have to go to that location before the storm gets there. Before anyone else gets there, right? Because the whole idea is in Twister, when you spin the thing and it says Right Foot Red, everyone has to go to Right Foot Red, right? Everyone has to put the right foot on red. So if like Right Foot Red means that's where a tornado is going to be, and all of these different teams like converge on this spot, and they're all trying to do some fucking storm chaser shit in the same location, that's a good. We can put a bunch of people in a location and have some cool drama happen.
I'm for it. I think it's a really good idea.
I agree with you, and I'm gonna add to this by saying that the leader of all of the groups are named things like Right Foot Red and Left Foot Green.
Yeah. Because
like Right Foot Red is his nickname, like from the army, and then like Left Foot Green is also a nickname from the army because
gangrene. I knew you were gonna say that.
Oh no!
Yeah, and Right Foot Red
is awesome.
Is his right foot is just redder than his left foot, And so they call him Red and Green, like that's their name.
It's because when they were in like Vietnam or something, he used to kick people to death with his right foot, and they got covered in blood. That's why his right foot red.
Like, exactly, no, I want it to be on Left Foot Green's team. Fuck, I'm on Right Foot Red team. That guy's gonna kick my ass. But he's he's stern.
Right Foot Red is the antagonist. He's just like Left Foot Green is clearly the underdog.
What about Left Hand Blue?
Yeah, Left Hand Blue and Left Hand Yellow. We have to.
You can't have two left hands. Come on.
Well, you're right. Right hand Yellow. They're the joke teams, right? They're the ones that nobody even. They're the teams that the protagonist isn't on, that are just there to add flavor to the movie. They kind of show up, but they're not really the main thrust of the story.
Yeah, they're like Hufflepuff.
Yeah, exactly right.
So
and Ravenclaw.
Left Hand Blue. Are there a bunch of people who are depressed, and then right hand Yellow is a bunch of cowards? So they just never do. They just run away at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Oh yeah, or what if to establish stakes? What if right hand Yellow is the team just gets fucking obliterated? Like they die, right? He's like, no, we can, or like maybe it's blue because if yellow are cowards, they wouldn't push it. But like,
no,
they
yellow
push
are
too
cowards
far,
and they run away, and that gets them killed.
Right? Yeah, they're like, no, hold. They're like, we can't do it, and they bail,
Exactly,
and then they just go up in a tornado.
Yeah, they all run out of the safe shelter because they're cowards.
Oh man, this is perfect. This makes perfect sense.
This is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever talked about.
Stop doing that on the air. Come on.
I was gonna wait till the end because I knew that it was not gonna get any better. But I was gonna wrap it up by saying this is easily the dumbest conversation I've ever had in my life. Thanks for listening.
I don't know, man. I keep coming back to our fucking Kellogg's episode.
Well,
that was
here's the thing.
General Mills. Come on, that was fucking ridiculous.
In the top 3 of dumbest conversations I've had, but the other 2 are definitely on this podcast.
Yeah, I would agree. All 3 of the dumbest conversations I've ever had have been on this podcast. Hey, thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting us. Rate and review on iTunes.
We should have just called this podcast Dumb Conversations. That's what we should have named it.
Yeah, Dumb Conversations with a bunch of idiots.
Yeah, I don't know. We thought we were being really clever. Hey. Storied.
Yeah, it's the driest possible name we could have picked. We should definitely change it to Dumb Conversations.
Stupid fucks or something.
Dumb Conversations with stupid fucks.
I'm pretty sure that violates some rules.
I'm sure we can massage the language, but I like that. That's good.
Bold.
It's just only available on the deep web.
Oh, perfect. So when you buy your like cocaine and assassinations on Silk Road or whatever, you can also get a sweet free episode of Storied, episode 21.
Yeah, it's not called Storied anymore. It's called Stupid.
You're
Fucks.
right. Yeah, Stupid Conversations with Dumb Fucks.
Hey, what other board games?
Thanks. We got Monopoly. We can do the Game of Life, which is just a slice of life movie.
Yeah, it's like Boyhood. Done.
Next, moving on.
It's like that episode of Rick and Morty where Morty goes inside of the that game where he just lives an entire life.
Oh shit. Roy.
Yeah.
That episode, like that whole idea, I can't remember what they're riffing on. I know it's a fucking movie or a television show or something that they're riffing on. But that fucking sequence where like he wakes up as a kid and goes, "Oh, I was just a little boy. I was with an old man," and like that person doesn't remember. They're convinced it's a dream and they just live their life as if they had a weird dream, and then they fucking die and come back. Like, is the most fucked up fucking sequence in that show. I feel
it's pretty messed up.
Oh man.
So
anyway, that's the Game of Life.
Hungry Hippos.
Oh yeah.
That's police procedural.
That's definitely like a Jurassic Park movie.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh shit, that's way better. Yeah, that's way better.
I think Hungry Hippos, a Jurassic Park story, is a good subtitle.
Oh man, like as if like Rogue One, a Star Wars story. It's like a.
They're trying to Indominus Rex these hippos.
Well, their idea is that they think that they can make the dinosaurs more docile by breeding them with hippos.
But twist though, that's perfect. You know why? Because the scientists like, oh man, like hippos, like, they're pretty docile, perfect. Like in the way that they use toad DNA, frog DNA to fill in the missing gaps. But secretly, hippos are fucking aggressive and extremely dangerous, and that's true.
Just none of the scientists know that. Like they just chose.
Yeah, for some reason, all of these biologists are not aware that hippos are extremely aggressive and terrifying and will murder you if you get close to them.
Yeah.
So they're like, we thought we'd make more docile dinosaurs, but they made them way more aggressive than normal aggressive dinosaurs.
So now
they're eating all our
giant
white pellets.
These giant hippos, right? That are like on 2 legs and have.
Well, they also like. I was gonna say they messed up the DNA sequencing, and then.
Of course
they just the more they eat, the more they grow. Like they don't have a max. They don't have a max size.
Man's hubris
like they
has built the perfect eating machine. Yeah. Oh my god, that's perfect. You know why? Because in the new Jurassic World movies, they have those fucking people movers that are spheres, and so they're they're just eating all the people driving around on this island, and they're the white pebbles that the hippos eat in the game.
Oh, so this is just Jurassic World 3.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Well, it's a side story, right? Like like you said, it's a Jurassic World story.
Yeah. Didn't this one just come out? The new one just came out, didn't it?
I don't know.
Is or about to?
Oh no, it is out. You know why? Because Meredith just saw it today.
I bet she loved it.
It clearly made such an impression on her that you forgot that she saw it.
Yes, yeah. It's apparently really bad.
Yeah,
But
I believe it. But this is going to be way better. Our Hungry Hippos Jurassic Park story is going to be way better.
Yeah.
I almost said a different thing, but I didn't. So that's that movie done.
Okay.
What else we got?
It's a quality
Oh,
episode.
that's the whole movie. Yeah, that's the whole movie. Let's just wash our hands of the whole thing.
Yeah, that seems fine.
Thanks for listening.
We could do a more graceful exit than that. I mean,
No,
we
I'm
had
just kidding.
we had 1 long and 3 short, which is a pretty good for board games, I think. Hey, thanks for listening to our board game episode. We got a lot of ridiculous fucking board game into movie or television show ideas there. Some of them better
Did
than
we
others.
ever?
All of them. Yeah, all of them are great. Sorry, all of them are fabulous. And that was that. So join us next time for another episode where we do something just as insightful and witty. Thanks for listening.
Storied is Sean Ainsworth, Harrison Pink, and Chris Rebbert, and our music is written by Jared Emerson Johnson. To hear more about the show or to send us feedback, email us at storiedcast@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter @storiedcast. Thanks so much for listening.